It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
You can do even better this time.
You think so?
Personally, yeah.
Think I should dial it in a little more?
No, honestly, like, I think the opposite. I think you could even just a little more, like, as much as you can.
Scream into the mic.
This right here is Car Con Carne. This already feels better.
Yeah, right?
Car Con Carne is a Q101 podcast. I'm James Van Alstyne, and Car Con Carne is sponsored by Easy Automation. Are you looking to transform your home, office, or business into a smart, seamlessly connected space? Easy Automation is a local business headquartered in bucolic Aurora, Illinois, that delivers custom automation solutions that are tailored to your lifestyle. Whether you're upgrading your home entertainment, streamlining your office tech, or enhancing the atmosphere in your restaurant or sports bar, they have you covered. Their expert team designs and installs personalized systems from smart lighting and climate control to audio-video distribution and robust Wi-Fi networks, all managed through an intuitive app on your favorite device. Easy Automation makes technology work for you effortlessly, reliably, and always with your satisfaction guaranteed. Visit easy-automation.net or call Dan at 630-730-3728 and take control of your environment today. Car Con Carne also sponsored by a book. In fact, it is this book right here, 90 Days in the 90s, a rock and roll time travel story, the ultimate novel about the 90s and Chicago's music scene, written by Andy Fry. Join Darby. Darby is a record store owner in Chicago on a street not unlike the one we're on right now, and she manages to go back in time to the 1990s via the Gray Line, part of the CTA. She magically goes back in time to the 90s, takes in all the nostalgia, all those moments, and then she's faced with the question. The 90s were pretty awesome in Chicago. Does she stick around, or does she come back to the present? What would you do? Go to 90daysinthe90s.com or pick it up on Amazon.com or wherever you buy books. Finally, Tag Publicity. I have a lot of musicians who watch, listen to Car Con Carne. Tag Publicity is a music and event publicity company that is freshly distinctive. Tag Publicity is a full-service entertainment PR, talent development, branding, digital marketing, social media management, project management, distribution, content creation, booking, and public relations company currently headed by Evan J. Thomas. You can reach out to Evan anytime for any of your PR needs. Just email him at evanjthomaspr@gmail.com. Follow Tag Publicity on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That was pretty great, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Bucolic, Aurora, Illinois.
Oh, it's lovely there.
No, it is lovely. I
lovely.
believe the City of Lights.
I missed the bit about the illiteracy.
I did too, yeah.
But that's
I was
okay.
waiting for that.
Should I do this a third? For people who are watching or listening, I totally forgot to record the video the first time I started recording, which is a real drain on my guests, and I thank you for your patience.
But it was a 2 for 2, you know.
It's my first podcast. My guests, speaking of which, they're Daisychain, celebrating an album release show this coming Friday, the 20th, at Sleeping Village. The new Daisychain album, All in a Name, is out 1 week after that, Friday, June 27th. I'm joined by Nickole, Frankie, and Sophia. We're meeting outside Reed's Local in Avondale. Not that we went in there, but it just seemed like a convenient location.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's right off the expressway. There's parking everywhere.
I just biked down Belmont. You know.
You biked down
Perfect.
Belmont.
My place.
You looked a little warm when I first saw you.
I was just warming up a little bit.
All right, so since we're not at a restaurant, I did bring snacks. Yes. You're under no obligation to eat snacks, but...
Did you bring
Oh,
carne
but I
asada,
am.
though?
I did not bring
We
carne
must.
asada. I have some popcorn. I have fruit cups with gelatin. I have spoons, too.
Incredible.
I have
And no
peanuts.
spoons.
Sour cream Pringles.
Yeah.
All right, I call the Pringles for sure.
All right, Frankie, we start with you. I don't know why this all resembles stoner food when I have you in the car, but
It's no coincidence.
Yeah, that's no coincidence.
I'll take
We conjured that.
all right. So Daisychain, we're meeting here on Tuesday, the 17th. You just got home from being on the road yesterday.
We sure
Are
did.
you a little worse for wear? A little tired? A little strung out?
A little bit of all of it, yeah.
Hey, tell me about the tour. How'd it go?
Oh, it was amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was a great tour, good reception, great shows.
great weather. It was
Yeah.
so nice to be on the West Coast.
We were expecting Texas to be significantly worse than it was,
Yeah.
weather-wise.
No tornadoes, no dust storms.
You know, there were some very, very intense winds in Oklahoma called, I forget what my cousin's wife called them, but there's a specific name for them. But they sounded like they have like the power of a tornado, but they're just winds.
Yeah.
So that happened to us. At
And
like
we were
6
staying
a.m.
in a very rickety hotel, so it was a fun night to wake up and be like, "Oh, this is it. this is it, guys."
And but that's the only kind of hotel you stay at when you're on the road,
Naturally, this one didn't. The bathroom door, they usually close. This one we went to close it, and the hinges weren't attached to the wall. So that was fun. And then the whole storm. It was an experience.
But by at this point, you all know each other well enough that if the door's not on the hinges, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, can you go away for a minute for like 5 minutes?
Let's take a walk,
Yeah. Like, can you take a lap and I'll let you know when it's safe.
When Frankie set this up with me, he reached out, and I don't mean to embarrass you, Frankie.
No, knock yourself out.
He wrote, anything we should bring or have prepared. And I wrote, just bring yourselves. This will be painless. And then Frankie wrote, this is the first time anyone's ever said this to me in an email, we'll gird our loins.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I wrote, please be careful, it's a family show. And he wrote, so avoid swearing. You took me literally. This is not a family show. You can talk about loins all you
Well,
want.
we're just coming in strong with the loins. So.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I've girded mine already. So I think.
Perfect.
All right, so tell me some history of Daisychain. Can you take us back, tell us the origin story?
Well, I met Frankie at a bar in maybe 2015, a bar that I worked at around 2015, and knew him for a while and kind of ran around in the same circles as him.
Went to a lot of shows and parties, getting into trouble, jam circles and such.
Yeah, and I met Nickole at an open mic at Gallery Cabaret, and we were both just kind of there for the same reason, to start a band, and we were the only two girls in the bar, so we just gravitated towards one
So
another.
naturally we were like,
For
hey.
safety and also for, no, I'm kidding. It was just kind of like a natural connection, and we started jamming together, and then shortly after I asked Frankie to do a gig with us that never actually panned out, but the chemistry was there, and we all really enjoyed playing music together, so the rest is history.
Yeah, I think Soph mentioned some gig in Nashville that was going to happen, and she had introduced me to Nickole, and she was obviously cool, but I don't know how seriously I said this. I was like, hey, if you need a guitar player for that gig, let me know. And the next thing I know, a week later, Soph picks me up for practice, and here we are, basically.
And you just clicked.
Yeah.
I always see the three of you together. What's the deal with your drummers?
We just haven't had really good luck with finding the right one.
Bit of a Spinal Tap situation.
Okay. I was going to use the reference, but it seemed too obvious.
It's not too cliche. Nothing's too cliche.
No, that's way too real.
It's actually literally like the movie Spinal Tap. So
down to, oh my God, we played a
That's
venue
not
in
a joke.
Cleveland that had 2 rooms.
Oh my God.
And Nickole went to the wrong room with the gear
That's
and
amazing.
it did happen in Cleveland.
That's perfect. Now, the vibe of Daisychain is definitely very 1970s when I listen. Were you all born too late?
That's a loaded question.
I think so. I don't know. I do and I think it's just because I love old people and I hung around. I've been hanging around a lot of old people my whole life. So I think that's probably why I'm a little biased or just a little more.
For sure.
I think I romanticize a lot of
That's
that.
what I was going to say.
because of them.
Yeah, I don't want to romanticize an era that was
No.
complex in a lot of ways. The
absolutely.
music was amazing, but it
sure.
wasn't an easy time.
The aesthetic was different for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank
That
God things
stuff
are
I like.
thank
but-
God things are easier today.
Right, things are so much easier now,
God.
We are.
Thank God for that.
What
yeah.
a breeze life is
Right,
these days.
I know.
It just gets easier and easier as time goes on.
Physically,
We figured it out.
physically,
When are the
things
tanks
are
coming,
getting
you know?
easier,
Honestly, when are they
requiring less
coming?
work. But in terms of mental stress,
Yes.
it's only gotten worse, and just more knowledge and more means to analyze and more means to
Yeah, it's too much.
but
There's a lot of things now.
Yeah.
I
A lot
think
of things.
there's a healthy amount of appreciation for music or pop culture or fashion or stuff from the past, but there's always an element of, with the benefit of hindsight, you can see what lasted well, and you can sort of forget about the stuff that was also happening at the same time that,
For sure.
Or glaze over it, and yeah.
When I think about music of the 70s, I think about how all that music was distributed and released, and it was all on vinyl. Are you guys record collectors?
I dabble, but I wouldn't call myself like a record collector. I enjoy listening to full albums, but people go deep in, you know.
See, that's it for me. I mean, I'm a collector, but it's not about finding rare pressings or anything like that. I like the experiential aspect
The
of it.
ritual of it, yeah.
Because anytime I'm driving in my car and I'm listening to a playlist, I never listen to the full songs. Like, I'm always getting antsy and trying to hear what's next, and I'll cursor through. Like, when you have a record on, you're kind of stuck there for 20 minutes through the good songs and the not so good songs.
Right.
I kind of like that.
It's more of a full experience, yeah.
Totally.
I've kind of I've read that like part of the resurgence in vinyl's popularity is precisely like, you know, prior to streaming, you know, essentially CDs are sharing the same space as DVDs, as video games, and going back to vinyl, that kind of like brings it to its own sort of medium.
I hadn't thought of it like that, but that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's talk about albums. Let's talk about All in a Name. The new album, it is out on the 27th. You went into the sessions with 100 songs.
We sure
Yes,
did.
we did that.
Most bands take their entire career to create 100 songs. You had 100 ready to go.
I mean, to be fair, like we were told that, you know, not fully developed ideas that are, you know, have a verse, a chorus, and a bridge or an intro. Or
Yeah,
something
I mean,
like that.
they were demos for sure, so they were thought out songs, but they weren't completed songs, but they could definitely, any of them could.
And we probably had like 20 ready to go, just like we had been like airing them out and practicing them. So maybe more along, you know, like 85, just like brand new within like a short amount of months. Just like have.
So you came ready.
to
I mean, you came ready to create. And
Well,
Definitely.
when Sylvia Massey asks you to write 100 songs, you don't take it lightly. You just do what she asks.
Yeah, like whatever you need.
again, Sylvia Massey, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Honestly, yeah.
Johnny Cash.
I mean, come on.
Literally, just everybody.
Yeah, Tom Petty, System of a Down.
System,
Yeah,
Prince.
Patty.
pretty heavy duty talent there.
Oh yeah.
And instinct, I'm sure.
It was only after the fact that we were told, oh, we always tell people to bring 100 songs, but rarely do they bring more than 15. They said only us and the Red Hot Chili Peppers
That's amazing.
ever actually did it. Apparently they brought 300 ideas for Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
They got to weed you out.
That's
I don't know.
I like that. Ouija it out.
Well, I guess it's so you don't show up with like 12 songs,
I know,
and
and
then
they're
they're
just kinda
like, so
stuck with
really
that.
3 of these work.
Yeah. Not
We
that
can put
they-
3 of these on an album,
you
but the
know,
rest are honestly garbage.
There were some songs that were bangers that are not on the album that I, you know, like was excited about and still am excited about, but what got chosen I think was the right choice and like was just, it flows so well together.
So the songs that didn't make it that you really still like, will those kind of be workshopped on stage? Will you?
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, like, I think we'll definitely develop some of the older ones, and once we do get to writing the next album, we'll obviously have new ideas as well, so that nothing is stagnant. And
I think it'll be
keep
cool to
going.
kind of like go back to some ones, because you know we haven't really even thought about them since we started the recording process with this new album. So I'm just interested myself in going back and looking at some really old ideas and seeing if I just hear something different this time, or if anything has changed, or if I'm like, ooh, that's
What was I thinking?
yeah,
Right, like,
that's
that's a pass,
embarrassing. So that one's a no.
delete.
That was such a 2025 thing, but no, we're not there anymore.
I know.
Well, let's talk about the album. The songs that did make the album. Shadowfax is pretty much the title track, with All in a Name.
Yes.
All in a Name.
Yeah.
Listening to this song, it takes an honestly surprising, almost prog rock turn about 2/3 of the way through, almost like a Rush turn.
Wow,
Yes.
I love that. Wow, thank you.
No, so that's a cool.
It felt
Take
kind
on
of
that.
left field. I mean, tell me, was that always part of the plan, or was that something you kind of just...
We always, since like developing the song, that was always in there, and that was one of the ones that we had before reaching out to Sylvia, that we had been playing before actually formulating the album. So I'm glad it made it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It's a cool
So
one.
dramatic.
G string. First question I had, is this about a guitar string, or is it about underpants?
Wow, you're
think you're, like, the first person
You were the
that-
first person to get the guitar string innuendo.
Oh, okay.
It totally is.
Okay. Because, looking at the lyrics, it feels more underpants based.
Yeah, well, totally. That's like,
And we love that.
we love that about us.
I brought some of the instrumental framework, and whenever I don't sing a note in this band, and I generally don't touch lyrics, but when I come up with some instrumental parts, I'll usually give it a pet working title that has no bearing or seriousness in reality. And that song has this part that's sort of centered on the G string, and so I just call it a G string. And then next thing
and he was giggling the whole time as he was telling us. So
next thing you know,
It's like an improv class. Okay, G string. Develop a scene from that.
That's what you do, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna raise you G string, and I'm gonna give you an entire song. I'm gonna have an entire verse and chorus.
But I love
exactly
that
like
song.
that.
It's so fun.
Wow,
it's so
that
much
is
fun to play.
hysterical. That's
too.
honestly what it feels like to churn out 100 ideas. You're just like, all right,
that one.
and then you.
I love lamp.
I think
I love lamp. I love lamp real good, and then you put it on a.
I think that one maybe like took the biggest leap from where it was before, like from the demo.
Mm-hmm. It's sweetly melodic.
Yeah, it's
So you feel that way, and then you get you start really working on it, and then you're like, okay, this is actually. We could make a scene here. We could make like at first it's like haha, and then I'm like, all right, we're doing this. Like Sylvia chose this, we're gonna do
This is
Yeah,
happening.
there you go.
and I'm like obsessed with that song.
It's so much fun.
My younger cousin loves that song, and I also feel like anyone in the room who starts like vibing to that song, I'm like, yes.
You'd think that it would attract like one crowd of person like.
No, the
Like
straightest.
your cousin,
of
the straightest men will
love that
come up and be like, "What's that shoe song?" And I'm like,
the shoe
"Are you?"
the shoe song.
I bet she wears the same size shoe as me. You like that? You like that?
Yeah. See, I'm glad that you have.
That's how we
those.
sing it,
Yeah,
too.
That's exactly how we sing
Yes,
it.
you like that.
Yes.
You like that.
So Eve is the garage rocker. Yeah.
We love that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
We love her.
It's just raw and scrappy.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, it's like let's do
That was
it.
a fun one to record too. We did some funky stuff for that. The vocals were through like a metal pipe microphone that looked like a submarine head. It was just like a long
a
metal
character
tube,
mic.
and it curved around, and you sang into that. It was a tiny little mic on there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name, but it literally looked like something off of like a ship,
Yeah, it was
and it was a
wild.
really cool character mic.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that because I know you brought a whole lot of different instruments into this. Like it sounds like you had a chance to really explore
Yeah,
the
we got
musicality
nerdy
of the
with
band.
it. I played clarinet. She played flute.
Oh yeah, we
She
went to
played
places we
Evo,
never thought
like-
we'd go,
Bells.
like sixth grade flute class. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
got weird, and in the best way.
That's awesome. Now, coming off of Eve, there's Rivers, which is hypnotic and trippy. You've got those cool fat guitar
Hell yeah!
sounds on that one. The video for Rivers, Chicago plays a role in this.
Oh yeah.
And then there are all these like trippy tracer and mirror effects. Like you kind of feel like you're high watching it, or you should be.
Love that. It's always our intention.
Let's talk about the sound of you. This sounds like it seems self-evident. It sounds like a song of loss.
Yeah, it's our System of a Down ballad.
This is your aerials.
Yeah, like to me, yeah. I mean, I don't know I can't speak for everyone here, but it feels like our System of a Down
Hell yeah.
aerials, if you will.
I don't want to hear a song on the radio. I just want to hold your hand again. How deep is this loss? Is this?
Oh, like super deep. Probably just like the worst.
I'm not going to push you on it. I mean, but it sounds like that. And so I'm a big fan of album sequencing, of thinking of
Yeah.
the whole artistic statement, start to finish, and threading people through that journey, through
journey,
songs.
yeah, the
So
experience.
coming out of that, I think you almost had to come out with Get High With Me.
Well, of course.
Like
yeah.
you just had to like punch out of that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what that is. Exactly what that does. It's up tempo. It's vibey. Keep that shit in the past and just hit this, man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's also a really fun
like-
one to play live.
Oh, I bet it is.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say it's like the healthiest way to process something, you know,
But
but
it is
if
a way.
it's like a crisis moment, like maybe we just
Maybe
need
just
to
get high.
Find some way to chill out.
Yeah, maybe we need to like just get a little stoned. I don't know, man. Like I'm not a therapist.
So I'm going to tell you something I'm sure you already know. Waste Your Time is probably the biggest no-brainer on the album. That's like, that is your slam
fun
dunk.
one.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's so fun.
It's the ultimate in conflicted feelings in a relationship. I want to waste your time. I want to waste you. Kind of works both ends of things. Speaking of Chicago's a part of this one too. You're playing Metro
Yeah.
in the video.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. It's
And
an
there's
homage
snow-
to Chicago.
Snow on the ground.
Yep.
It's forever time stamped.
We had to get it recorded.
I mean, what are we gonna? What do you want? Would you rather us try to make Chicago look like it's Miami or something?
Oh no, we want the authentic
the
Daisy
nitty-gritty.
chain. We want this is where you're from.
Yeah, twirling around in a jean jacket in Chicago.
Hell yeah. And
In January.
let's talk again about the guitar. That solo on that song. Those are
Rips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely shreds.
It sure does.
Shred Armisen is what
Shred
I've
arms.
nicknamed him on stage. It's my favorite one.
that's.
That's a good one.
I love a good pun. All right, so the release show is Friday the 20th at Sleeping Village, and by saying that on the podcast, that means I'm locking myself into editing and putting this out before then. This is my way of forcing myself to get this done
We
quickly.
love that. That's
Yes,
smart.
That's a good move.
I don't know if it is, but it's great to get this out in front of the show. The album All in a Name is out on Friday, June 27th. That's at Sleeping Village. And I was talking with Frankie previously, before this episode, talking with Frankie. It's a hometown show. You just came off the road. You're going to mix it up a little bit. You're going to make this something hometown appropriate, set list wise.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's gonna
We'll
be
give
real
them
good.
what they want.
Who knows? We can do what we want. You know?
You can do what you want, and the city will love you for it. All right, so what's next? What does the rest of summer look like for you?
We've got some. We head back out on the road in a few weeks. You know, more in like the Midwest and the Rockies, and we've got a few more shorter bits of touring in the United States throughout the fall, and actually we announce some international touring this Friday.
Really?
Let's go.
Yes.
I guess
Yeah.
If they let us in or out of the country, I don't know.
I feel like they will. I don't know if it's just like me, but I just think they're going to take one look and be like, something about you guys. Let them in.
Let's go.
Let them back in.
These ones are okay.
So this is a great year.
Yeah.
It's really all coming together, or it's come together.
Yeah.
We
It's
put a
full-
lot of work in, and we're excited to share
Yeah,
the
it's
music and just like the energy with everybody.
all of the really hard work that we, put in, and so it all feels like it's like coming to fruition. And
getting to play in Chicago to, friends, family, and people that we've met on the way, it's just so
Yeah.
special.
And I've got to say, the sounds you make, these are welcome. I am glad these kind of sounds are being brought back. It felt like a distant hope for a while that people like actively bring back guitar rock as sophisticated and as psychedelic as you have.
Well, thank you.
Thank
And I'm
you.
like, I'm gonna cry.
I know that's like exactly what we.
You know what? It's different, like tastes or instrumentation ebbs and flows,
Yeah.
and like goes from being done in a
Dynamics are
very
so important with
being
that
done
kind
in a
of
very
stuff.
produced and processed way to okay, let's strip it back and make it as as raw and unadulterated as possible. So it's just everything comes back at some point, and
It seemed for a while that it wasn't going to, though. That's my point. I'm glad it did.
No, I'm glad
I
it did
believe
too,
I believe in the
yeah.
cyclical nature of things, but it felt for a while like maybe that wasn't going to happen.
Like we were all just going to be downloaded into his Zara catalog.
That's-
Yeah, I was feeling that too.
They
but
almost got us.
I can. Yeah, I know they almost did, but I can tell you on a local level, there are a lot of like
People that want to.
really
Yeah.
good, genuine artists out there.
Oh, yeah.
That are like doing really good work in the communities that they're in, and just like writing awesome music and putting on incredible performances like from their heart, and just like doing it for the craft. So I don't think that's ever going to go anywhere.
And people want to see it. There's always a demand for it.
And people are always going to be like trying to throw money at it too, like even if it's not that much. Like, like they're still going to be like, "Hey, I'm going to buy that T-shirt."
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
something like- there's always going to be people going out in their like local scenes, like wanting to
Support.
support. So
I feel like with the way that the world is going, everything is just getting more processed. Everything's getting more analyzed. You have AI and just, everything can be airbrushed or polished to a crisp. I feel like one of the last bastions of just, the raw human nature is like, ripping, guitar music that, okay, this bend might be a little out of tune or something like that, or it's not done to overly reliant on backing tracks. And I think the more people are like used to everything being figuratively and literally airbrushed, that feels like a new experience.
Oh, I totally agree. It's funny. I haven't worked in radio for a few years, but I remember the last radio job I had, the first time I walked in the studio, the program director showed me around and said, now we don't do live. Everything is voice tracked. And I'd only ever done live radio before. And the way he positioned it to me was the great thing about voice tracking, which is pre-recording and then kind of loading the sound files into a computer so they fire before the songs. The great thing about voice tracking is you'll always have a perfect break. And I thought, to your point, Frankie, that's the wrong way to go about it. Like, you want those imperfections. You want people to fuck up.
That's why people like live music, to see the things that are not the same on the album, or like little fuck ups, or whatever. Like,
it's how people recover.
It's the authenticity of it. Yeah,
it's how they bounce back. It's what makes people real. In the case of radio, it's what makes the difference between a disc jockey and a personality. And in the case of music, it's the difference between, at this point, AI and Daisychain.
People, I'll listen to recordings and listen for the one that's not even an error or something, but something that's different, that got through the picking through process, that stands out, that just feels special and unique and like human in a way. So
totally. All right, I love your band, Daisychain. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having
This was such a
James.
fun interview.
Yeah.
Thank you for the snacks too. It was really thoughtful.
Hit the spot.
No one went for the gelatinous fruit in a cup?
I was going to. I'm wearing white
up until the
pants,
point where
so-
you were like, I don't have a spoon.
No, I said I do have spoons.
You
He
do?
does. I said
Because
that,
I'm wearing
yeah.
a white shirt. I can't just go for it in a white
Take one
shirt.
home though and try it.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the fruit cup. What do you mean? Yeah, absolutely. It's a throwback. I didn't ever think that I would see fruit suspended in Jell-O. I told you I love old people. I love fruit and Jell-O.
Let's go.
She's got an antiquing trip down Route 66 planned out.
I do. I have I want to take a Route 66 trip.
Wait,
Senior friendly.
I swear to God, I've fallen in love every time I try to wrap up this interview. I love antique malls.
Yes.
I went on Sunday. I went to my friend Mark, who's in a couple different bands, lives out by Volo near McHenry, and he recommended the Volo Antique Mall, which is 3 buildings by the Volo Auto Museum.
Wow.
And I walked out of there with a stack of comic books and records, and it was awesome.
That's so
Amazing.
cool.
Yeah. See, I would leave with 50 Mad magazines, some lamps,
Right, like
a
a
mirror.
dresser,
Yeah.
a boudoir.
No shortage of either.
Yeah.
All right,
Lamp.
Daisychain, thank you for doing this.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having us. It's a lot of fun.